Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your friendly neighborhood Coach Pruitt here with you once again with our daily YouTube video covering the class content for Wednesday and Thursday, January the 27th and the 28th of 2021. So you can see on the screen here, I have for you guys our daily schedule, the things that we put in the chat for you guys at the very beginning of class each day. We have the essential question here. We've got the schedule. We've got a couple of announcements and then some links / video clips that we will be using towards the end of class. So for today, our plan of attack is this. We will continue and finish up our discussion on Reconstruction. We've spent the last several weeks talking about the Civil War, Unit number 4, and Standards number 8, 9, and 10. Today we will finish up Standard number 10. That'll complete our content for the unit, and that puts us in a spot where we can review Friday and Monday, and then test on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So we will do 2 task work activities today. Continuing with the theme from the last couple of classes, we are going to do the first one together as we cover notes directly and go over things. And then the second half or the back half of class will be time for you guys to work independently to find your own information. I feel like we kind of have gotten a groove of doing this. I also feel like it means that Mr. Burrows and I can still teach you guys and talk to you guys for a while without taking up the entire class period of us just lecturing, because I know that would be boring in person, let alone virtually. That's got to be just almost torture. So I get it. Mr. Burrows and I understand. So that's why we're going with this plan. So again, we will talk about Reconstruction today. We've got 2 task work activities to do. So let me share my screen with you guys. I will show you how to get to where we need to get to, what we're doing today, and then we will move on. Before we get there, though, there are a couple of announcements. Just remember, today is Wednesday, so by 1 o'clock today, all late missing and makeup work is due. Obviously, if you still are missing stuff and you turn it in after 1 o'clock, we will still take it, but it will not reflect on your first semester grades. We've been telling you guys this for 2.5 weeks now, so no excuse of not knowing when things were due and when the deadline was. Like I just said, your test also is going to be on February the 2nd and 3rd, so that'll be even classes on the 2nd and then odd classes on the 3rd. So for today, what we are going to do, we need to go to Canvas. So you can see on here, I've gone to my Canvas page, scrolling down to the second section, U.S. History Modules. Don't forget, guys, that you have the Tools and Resources button here. You can always click on that. We showed you this the other day in our video, but it takes you right to the Unit 4 Tools and Resources, and there you can find a link to the Unit 4 playlist on YouTube, a link to all of the PowerPoints that we have been using or will use, a link to Google Slides presentations that you can use to study or prepare. Lots of different things there for you, so don't forget that button is there. So we're going to click on the Unit number 4 module. Now, yesterday, or the last time we were together, I suppose, we had 2 activities that we did. One of them we did together directly as notes, and that was the Venn diagram. We talked about the 2 different forms of Reconstruction, which of course are presidential and radical Republican. Then we talked about the Civil War amendments briefly, and you guys had the back half of class to go and research using video clips and the PowerPoint and figure out what the Civil War amendments were. So what we want to start with today is the Civil War Amendments and Resistance Organizer. If we click on that, sorry, let me get a sip of coffee while it's loading. Now, you guys have already done this part. Okay, this was the amendments that you did the other day, so we will recap this together and talk about the Civil War Amendments, which are 13, 14, and 15. We'll talk about what they are, what they did, and why they were passed. So on that note, we need to discuss why these things are being passed. What was the resistance of Southern people, Southern states, and Southern governments to all of these amendments and to, basically Reconstruction and the way that minorities, especially, of course, former slaves, newly freed African Americans, were being treated. So we will go through, and as a group, we will talk about and define these different things. These were all tactics or things used by Southern governments and Southern people to restrict the new freedoms of African Americans. So we'll talk in depth about each of these things using our PowerPoint that we have been using on Reconstruction. I will give this to you guys in the chat. It was also on the front slide. It's also in the Tools and Resources page. So you can access this anytime on your own as well, so no worries there. So that'll take the first half of class. We'll finish up the Civil War Amendments and Resistance Organizer and be done with that. So in the back half of class, like I said earlier, continuing our kind of pattern we've had for the last 2 weeks or so, we're going to finish up the Venn diagram and report card. Now to do this, we need to go into this organizer. And again, guys, if you downloaded this, saved it as a document to your computer, then you'll just fill it in. If you were putting this in your own Microsoft Word document, Google Doc, PowerPoint slide, whatever, that's fine too. It doesn't matter that they're necessarily together on the same like slide or piece of paper. Excuse me, so sorry. As long as you have everything, that's absolutely fine. So in the back half of class, what we're going to look at is an organization called the Freedman's Bureau or the Freedmen's Bureau. It was created to help African Americans, newly freed African Americans in the South during Reconstruction. There was some good with the Freedman's Bureau. They did some really great things. There were some not so great things or some failures of the Freedman's Bureau. And we want to look at those today and talk about them together. So as I will mention them in our first little section when we're talking about resistance to the Civil War Amendments and to Reconstruction, you guys are going to, on your own, go through, you're going to look at different things that the Freedmen's Bureau was able to accomplish. I will give you a list of these when we actually get into class, and you're going to use your notes. So you've got the Reconstruction notes. We are also going to use the Unit Number 4 playlist today, and I will give you links directly to the videos in class like I always do. It'll be in the chat. If you go to the Unit 4 playlist, you'll see that there are several videos here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos at the end that you can watch about the Freedmen's Bureau. Also, you can watch the Crash Course Reconstruction video, and it will give you some good stuff as well. And basically, we want you to give a grade to the Freedmen's Bureau, right? How did they do in different areas? And like I said, I will give you the assignment or the area. You will give them a grade, and there's no right or wrong answer. This is your own opinion. But then you have to tell us why they got that grade. Okay? You can't just give them, a 50 and then just roll on. You got to explain to them why did they get a 50? What did they do wrong? What things could they have done better? On the same regard, if they get an A or a 90, and guys, you can do letter or number grades here. It says that. So you could give them an A or a 95. Doesn't matter. But then you need to tell us why you thought they did so well. Okay, so that should take up the majority of class. That would take us to the end of the day. And like I said, the end of our content for Unit Number 4. So just kind of going back and going through stuff, like I said, today we're finishing up Reconstruction. We'll recap together very briefly at the beginning. We will talk about resistance to Reconstruction together in the form of notes. You guys will work on the Freedmen's Bureau report card using the Google Slides, PowerPoints, and video clips. That will finish up our unit. That gives us Friday as a work day, and then Monday of next week as well. Friday is even, Monday is odd, and then Tuesday, Wednesday of next week will be your test. So odd classes will test on Wednesday, even classes on Tuesday. That's all that we got for you guys. Please remember your grades due by 1. If you need anything, obviously you can always send us a remind message. You can always send us an email. Mr. Burrows and I are more than willing to talk to you guys about grades, class content, help you study, help you review, anything and everything that we can do for you guys. All right. We love you guys. Take care. Be safe. Keep socially distancing. Keep wearing a mask. We will see you guys in class.